again to another highly questionable Dan Le Batard, Papi Le Batard, Domonique Foxworth. Grateful and happy to have him around again today. What do you like on the show today, Domonique?
A Nigerian-born Canadian president may be moving to New York.
Let's do it. Dale, Papi.
Do you buy reports that Chris Paul lost faith in Doc Rivers because of the way he favored his son?
I would be willing to buy reports that it was a reason, not the reason, that he left the Clippers. That it would be very low on the list of reasons. That a bigger reason would be that he was frustrated because the Clippers never went anywhere with him and he wants to have a better shot in the West, so he teamed up with a better team that has a bigger future that will allow him in 2018 to have more freedom so he could go to an even better team if he wants to and have a bigger future. This would be very low on the list of reasons that he left Los Angeles.
I'm not so sure that it's that low. If you hear about the trade that apparently Doc Rivers passed up, it was Carmelo Anthony and Sasa Vujacic for Austin Rivers, Paul Pierce, and Jamal Crawford. That's nepotism. But, I mean, if you're someone's father, what's the worst thing you could possibly do? Send them to the Knicks.
Chris Paul? No. He finds another excuse to run like a rabbit again. You know, he goes to someplace else. You know, he never made it to a conference final. He never made it to the finals, you know. And now he's blaming Austin Rivers and Doc Rivers because, you know, I don't like the way he treated his son. You know, he put his son before all of us, you know. Suck it up, man. You got to stay in there and try to win a championship for the Clippers, you know? That's the team you built, you know? That's the guys you wanted. You wanted Doc Rivers in there as your head coach, you know? I know you run like a rabbit.
He's really mad about
Come to Miami.
Yeah, what happened? Why?
That's what it was all about.
That's what it's
Finally.
about. Yes, if you're going to leave a place, come to Miami. There
That's
we go.
right. Come to Miami.
Okay.
Is there a basketball case for Gordon Hayward to join the Heat rather than the Celtics?
Gordon Hayward, in today's climate, is going to be making about $40 million a season. Gordon Hayward. And Miami is a lovely place, as you can see behind us. And Miami, as an organization, has a habit of making players better. If he wants to improve on basketball, not necessarily do any big winning, but improve as a basketball player, this is a pretty good place to be for that.
Forget about the basketball case. There is a follicle case for Gordon Hayward to come here. Have you seen his hair? He has Miami hair. That's old.
Not Miami hair.
If he was going to go to the Celtics, that's Miami hair.
Oh, that's Miami
On my
hair.
way over to the studio, I saw 4 Gordon Haywards with their shirt off.
Yes.
Just here, like, that's where he's supposed to be. I can find you some Gordon Haywards.
Yes.
You look out the window.
Yes. No, there are players.
There's a Gordon Hayward right there.
That does
A
fit
Gordon
down here.
Hayward right there.
No, it's true. They're by the pool. All of them. They're pink.
Should Masai Ujiri stay with the Raptors or join the Knicks?
It's Masai.
It's got to be that for the rest of the time. You pronounce it like that for the rest of the time. What a great way to pronounce that.
He is a very talented president of operations up in Toronto. He's also Nigerian-born, and he has fleeced the Knicks in many trades over the years. So if you can't beat him, buy him. I think it's a great case for him to go down there. It's a low bar. The owner has deep pockets, so you might be able to go to the salary cap. And they also have better young talent than he's dealing with in Toronto. It's time to jump ship. You've done as much as you can north of the border. Come down to the Big Apple.
James Dolan is willing to spend a lot of money on people who may or may not be able to do their jobs. Gave Phil Jackson $12 million a year, so that's the plus side. The downside is that Frank Isola is reporting that James Dolan is still interested in a dark horse candidate. Isaiah Thomas is one of the candidates involved here, if you can actually believe that. The best argument to be made for him staying in the East is you've just seen that Jimmy Butler left the East. You've just seen that Paul George may leave the East. The East is going to be so crazy wide open that Cleveland's got the 3 biggest stars in the entire conference.
This guy, he should trade DeRozan to the Knicks and then take the Knicks job. That's what he should do.
That's the way to do it. Nice move, Papi. That's the way to do it. Yes.
What do you make of Clinton Portis' admission that he wanted to kill one of his financial managers?
So this was a Sports Illustrated story from yesterday. Clinton Portis had a lot of money stolen from him from his financial managers, and now he's in a tough financial situation. And it's not only the money being taken from him that makes me angry, it's everything else. It's all the sacrifice. He played running back in the NFL. It's the brain injuries that he may have suffered, the surgeries that he may have endured, and all the sacrifice that he made from the time that he was a kid to get to this point in the NFL. And now they've taken all of those rewards from him that he made, and he has very little to fall back on. It's unfortunate. It's terrible every time it happens, and we should make sure that we put the blame on the right people. Not on Clinton necessarily for making poor decisions, which he did. He should take responsibility for that, but it's on the people who stole from him.
That's an interesting point that he's making, because those people are largely faceless, and they're doing this a lot in sports all the time, and we marvel how athletes can be so stupid with their money, when Domonique was pointing out on the radio today that athletes have to sort of focus to get to the top of that sport on that singular skill that allows them to be better than the athletes they're competing against. And sometimes there's going to be money mismanagement, and sometimes the mistake isn't that you lose your money, it's that you trust the wrong people with your money. So you've got a situation like this where Sports Illustrated is reporting details that he has a gun in his lap and is outside the building waiting to do something to his financial advisor, and somebody talks him in off the ledge so he doesn't ruin a life that has already been harmed by people he couldn't trust.
I would have had a lot more money if I didn't have to help them for so many years, you know? I kept putting money into these source here, you know? I got no returns on it.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Oh, what an investment.
The food bill alone, you know, was so high.
Oh, for the love of God, knock it off. Knock it off. Nachos aren't that expensive, man. Come on.
They are by the gallon.
Coming up next on my son Stevie's show, Will Ferrell.
Well, I'm always trying to impress a lot of people. That's a given. I know you operate the same way.
Yes, we're kindred spirits that way. You're my soulmate that way. Yes, it's very important to impress people at cocktail parties.
In fact, I'll just drive around L.A. and pop in on random cocktail parties.
Joining us at the beach today, Will Ferrell.
Failed at his first love, sports broadcasting. Failed his way into his career with the movie coming out, The House, in theaters Friday, June 30th. Let's talk to him. Is there a project that you're proudest of? I'm not asking you what's your favorite movie, but I don't know whether Funny or Die is your favorite project, but a project that you enjoy more than any other, that you have pride in.
Well, we're definitely proud of Funny or Die as a entity. As a project, the one, I mean, I've been asked this lately. One that keeps coming up lately, because I think I saw it recently, was a movie that I did entirely in Spanish, Casa de mi Padre, which I just had this idea to put myself in a Spanish telenovela-style movie, and we were somehow able to convince Diego Luna and Gabriel Garcia Bernal to be in it, and yeah, so I do wake up sometimes going, wait, I shot a movie entirely in Spanish that very few people have seen. But if you can find it out there, it's very funny. It's very funny.
Is there anything that you can't watch of yours? You simply can't watch it. If it comes on in a hotel room, you're turning the channel, you don't want to watch it.
You know, I don't know. I kind of, regardless of how they end up coming out, I always look back at the experiencing, of having made them. You always learn something. That's my political answer. The one movie that, and I had fun making it. I caught a glimpse of Bewitched a couple years ago, and trying to, Nicole Kidman and I as a couple, it just was not working. I was like, what? That was one where I was like, what was I thinking? That was not good.
Is there one that got away from Will Ferrell? A role that you could have had, that you kind of wanted, that you turned down because you had too many projects going on, and you're like, wow, I really should have done that?
There is one. Vince Vaughn had asked me to be in Wedding Crashers with him, and I either had, too much or this, that, and the other. They asked me to come and do the cameo, and that's where I came up with all the Meatloaf stuff. But that was one, when I saw how huge that movie was. At the same time, I can't take away from Owen. Will Owen's so funny, and he's also he's funny and good looking. He's the funny, good looking guy. So it kind of, they're such a great pair. But yeah, that was one where I was like, oh, maybe that was a good guy, a good premise for a movie. Guys that crash weddings.
How stupid was the original Anchorman script? Like, what was it? I've read different accounts of what that story was actually going to be before it became what it was.
Did Adam get into it with you at all?
No.
Did he tell you? No. Yeah, our original version which was insane, was basically it took place in 1976, and all the newsmen from the various affiliates around the country were flying into Philadelphia for the bicentennial. Ron Burgundy decides to pilot the plane, the charter, convince the pilots that he can fly, and he clips another cargo plane. We then were flying over the Rockies, and we crash land, and the whole rest of the movie is basically like the movie Alive. We have to survive on top of a mountain. So it's just armies of newsmen trying to survive on a mountain, while the other cargo plane that crashed coincidentally right next to our plane was only carrying a cargo of Chinese throwing stars and baboons. And so then they're hunting us throughout the movie. So as you can see, people read that and went, maybe just set it in a newsroom. We're like, okay, we'll try to be a little more conventional.
What can you tell me about Anchorman that maybe people don't know or are surprised to learn? Is there any one thing that would be Will Ferrell's unveiling at a cocktail party if he's trying to impress a bunch of people there?
Well, I'm always trying to impress a lot of people. That's a given. I know you operate the same way.
Yes, we're kindred spirits that way. You're my soulmate that way. Yes, it's very important to impress people at cocktail parties.
In fact, I'll just drive around L.A. and pop in on random cocktail parties. Probably the one thing, I mean, Anchorman, the whole ending of the movie was a redo. It was all a reshoot. We originally tested the movie. We had a whole other storyline, and while they were liking the characters, they hated this subplot that we had. And so the whole jumping in the bear pit and Baxter, being able to communicate with the bears and all this stuff, that was all 2 weeks of a reshoot, a bit of a Hail Mary pass that ended up obviously saving the movie.
What's the most fun that you've ever had in a work environment? I imagine you take these environments with you, but when you're just riffing, ad-libbing, and you're with funny people and you're just enjoying the process of creativity, what's the most fun you've had?
We keep coming back to Anchorman, but that first, the first and the second one that we got to make, that group of guys is Steve Carell, David Koechner, and Paul Rudd, along with Christina Applegate. They're fantastic, and especially the first one, because it was off to an auspicious start, especially with that first version of that script. But it took us 3 years to get anyone to even listen to us to make that movie. So when we finally got the green light, we just felt like we were playing with the house's money, and every day, it was like summer movie camp, and we were just waiting to get shut down. So we just kept doing weirder and weirder stuff, and just having the best time. So that's one that kind of has stood out. And that was the first movie I got to make with Adam as a director. And we've done 5 projects since, and we've always tried to carry over that atmosphere into every project we've done.
Will, always a pleasure catching up with you. Thank you for making time for us, and good luck with the movie.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
Highly questionable is broadcast from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that thinks he has something living inside him. Do you question?
You give us topics and events, and we question them.
Do you question if this was a good answer?
We go out to Jimmy Butler's introductory press conference. He's a Timberwolf now. Let's check in.
You've been pretty quiet, subdued this week, but there's been some shots fired in your direction. Antoine Walker questioned you as a locker room guy, and then obviously down in Chicago there's been some momentum from personalities that you can't build a team around you. How frustrating has that been that this stuff is coming out now and what should be a celebration week for you?
It's not frustrating. It's expected. Somebody's got to take the blame. I'll be that guy. I'm okay with it. I'm fine. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. But with that being said, my phone's in my back pocket right now. If whoever has anything to say to me, feel free. 773-899-6071. So if you want to interview, there you have it. Please do.
I mean, you have to love that move. It's funny, it's in your face, it's not disrespectful, but it's certainly kind of a taunt, a mic drop, like you don't really want this problem with me. I bet none of those people who he was talking to gave him a call. All you reporters calling, all you fans texting. He probably got some pretty good picks in there, too.
That's true. None of the critics are calling, just radio gas bags who need to fill a Thursday morning with some empty content.
Ring, ring,
Oh, what
ring.
happened? Wait a minute, what happened here?
Hello?
Everyone's got this number all of a sudden, too.
Oh, Fred, hold on. It's Fred Hoiberg.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, Fred, what's going on? Really? First time? Boy. All right, Fred. Hold on for a second. He says this first time here I got Jimmy Butler's phone number.
Okay.
Fred, thank you for watching this show, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred Hoiberg. You got his number now.
Do you question if this is a big deal?
Is what a big deal. Let's check in. If you're this low in the show, it's usually not a big deal.
Hi guys, welcome. I'm going to cut my own hair.
That's a bad idea.
So as you can see, I already got my hair done for my dad. And I cut my dad's hair yesterday. So I wanted to think about cutting my hair on myself. My mom doesn't want to do it, so let's get started with my own hair. So what I have is Joe get a box, and this is for my dad.
Because it's a kid. This is not going to end well, and you are required to feel sorry for it.
Get started.
That's not how you hold it. Not how you hold clippers, young man. Yep.
Oh, no, look at that fear on his face. Horror, horror and fear.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God, look at him.
He put it back in, though.
Oh,
doesn't it grow back?
I'm going to be the funniest kid on the planet.
Oh!
Bad.
Oh, kind of fresh.
Doesn't look that bad. There he goes. He talked himself into it. We saw it all happen in real time. He was kind of dismayed, kind of horrified, and then, it's all right.
It could have been worse. Look
Oh,
at this.
yes. Is this the corn cob situation? Yes!
Yes.
Oh,
Yes! Glory be to God!
No!
Yes!
No!
Yes!
No!
Yes, I said!
No!
Yes!
No!
That's a great sports show, sports debate show right there. Yes! No! Yes!
Time to play the game that is feeling the beat right now. See? Oh, no.
You tell us what to watch on television tonight. Nice coordination. We'll tell you if we're intrigued or not.
At 6:30 in Florida, Palm Beach and Port St. Lucie.
Palm Beach and Port St. Lucie. That means we're checking in. Tim Tebow's first day after being promoted. Class A. What does he do? Of course, this is what he does. Straightaway center field, 400 feet. That's why people are there.
Validates everything.
Yeah, that's what Tebow does. He rises up to the big moment. Miracle. Domonique, are you intrigued?
See, I'm intrigued. I may not go or actually watch it, but that was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. And he is a great marvel in oddity that we all get to enjoy and sell tickets. I can't wait till the Mets bring him up. And if that makes you mad, I hate you.
Papi, are you intrigued?
Are you kidding me? See, I'm very intrigued. I've been waiting for this game all my life. Tebow playing baseball from lower A to the high A. You know, I'm telling you something. He's putting a lot of butts on the seat. You know, in addition to that, he's hitting all kind of homers. You know, that's the future of baseball. Tim Tebow, a name that you'll never forget.
There were 3,000 people there, and don't listen to anything he says when he says it's one of the biggest days of my life, him going from lower single A to higher single A.
On ABC, the Battle of the Network Stars.
I liked this show when I was young, but they can't get actual stars to do this show anymore, can they? They're just really C-list and D-list people, right? Let's check in.
Thursday, June 29th, Battle of the Network Stars.
What do you mean they can't get stars?
Eric
Run
Estrada.
relay, basketball, soccer, swim relay, kayak relay, archery, tennis,
Hey, the Backstreet Boys, golf, star.
and
That was one of the most awkward falls I've ever seen.
I mean, the only person I recognized there was Mike Greenberg. Dominique, are you intrigued?
See, I'm intrigued. I always like watching regular, non-athletic people try to do athletic things so I can point and laugh.
All right.
As
Pop,
you guys do to me sometimes.
yes, like we do to you. Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Every Estrada, I remember a long time ago when he was in that show in California, Chips was at the name of the guy. I'm telling you something, I follow that guy and his partner all the way. Now, I got an opportunity to relive those moments, I'm going to be glued to that TV set. Who was the other guy from ESPN that was in the show?
Joe Tessitore and Mike Greenberg.
Mike Greenberg, never heard of him. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
See you mañana.
Dad is proud of himself when he makes a good one. That was a good one.
He'll get mad at me, but that's okay.
That's all right.